Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Movie Blog. I am your host, Joy Strandberg, and today I am going to be showing you guys my entire Blu Ray collection. I love doing these videos every year, and I'm very excited to bring it to you guys again this year. So, without further ado, let us get into it. The first movie up is 310 to Yuma. James Mangold, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated filmmakers working in the business. This is one of my favorites from him, one of my favorite westerns, and one of my favorite Russell Crowe performances. 12 Angry Men. This is probably my favorite black and white movie. I really like the fact that they don't show the crime. I think it is one of the most genius writing choices they could make. 1917. This isn't the most rewatchable movie in my opinion, but it is certainly worth the experience. One of the best theater experiences I've had, and it looks fantastic on 4K. 1984, another movie I don't find super rewatchable because the last hour is basically John Hurt getting tortured, but still a very important movie. And I don't understand why the book is not required to read in high school anymore, at least where I'm at. Well, I'm not in high school anymore, so where I was. 2001 A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick is not one of my favorite directors, but I respect him and I really like this movie, so. The Alfred Hitchcock 4K collection has Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, and The Birds. One of the greatest filmmakers of all time. And fun fact, Psycho is the first movie to ever show a toilet. Next up, we got Aliens, one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time, and Aliens, one of the best sci-fi action movies of all time. Both fantastic movies. Ant-Man, not one of my favorite Marvel movies, but it is still really solid. I think it would have been better if Edgar Wright had stayed on, but oh well. Apocalypse Now, one of the best war movies of all time, and this is the version with like the billion different cuts. Arrival, one of my favorite of Villeneuve's movies. In my opinion, this is Amy Adams' best performance. Aquaman, I have fun with this movie. It doesn't have a really bad script, yes, but the energy James Wan and the cast brings is phenomenal. Avengers, one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Age of Ultron, I enjoy this sequel. I don't think it's the best sequel ever made by any stretch, though. They wasted Quicksilver. Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Two of the best experiences I've ever had. And Thanos is one of my favorite comic book movie villains. Baby Driver, one of my favorite Edgar Wright movies, one of the best uses of music in a movie I've seen. And unfortunately, the cast haunts this movie, but it's still a great movie. The Back to the Future trilogy, one of the greatest trilogies of all time, and the first one I think is genuinely a perfect movie. So, put that back. Prepare for a lot of Batman. First up, we got the 60s Batman movie with Adam West, along with the TV show. I grew up on this, so I have a lot of nostalgia. Next up is the 4-film Batman collection. We got Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and everyone's favorite Batman and Robin. I love the Tim Burton Batman movies. They're some of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And yeah, and then the other two I just so happen to have. One of my favorite animated series is Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. You will forever be my Batman. I also have Batman Beyond, another show I enjoyed just as much as the animated series. Next up, I got one of my favorite trilogies ever, the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises. I think all three of these movies are great. Even Rises. I really do enjoy Rises. Next up is the new The Batman, one of my favorite films of this year. Genuinely fantastic. Robert Pattinson would have never been my choice, but he proved all the naysayers wrong with this performance. Batman Year One, one of the best Batman stories, one of the best animated movies, truly phenomenal. The Lego Batman movie, really fun movie. I like this more than the Lego movie. Gotham by Gaslight, pretty cool little animated one. I did not like this one, Batman Hush. They did something really stupid in the end of this one that really disappointed me. And that's it for the Batman. It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's super rewatchable. The Big Lebowski. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Might be my favorite comedy. Is between this and the Cornetto trilogy. Birds of Prey. I have fun with this movie. I really enjoy Harley Quinn and her ADD style storytelling. Black Panther, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. I will definitely be picking up Wakanda Forever. And I really enjoy this one. I don't think it's one of the best Marvel movies ever, but especially because of the third act. But the great moments are truly great in this one. The Black Phone. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. Ethan Hawke gives one of the best performances of his career, and surprisingly enough, the kid actors are great in it. Black Widow, it's fine. It lost me in the third act. Blade Runner, a sci-fi classic, looks incredible on 4K. And one of the best sequels, Blade Runner 2049, had no right to be as great as it was, but Denis Villeneuve proved me wrong. Blue Velvet, haven't seen it yet. I definitely plan on seeing it, but I might even watch it tonight. Next up is my James Bond collection. This has everything from Dr. No to Spectre. I'm a big Bond fan. Casino Royale is one of my favorite action movies. And then I do have all the Daniel Craig ones on 4K, so I got the collection that has Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. And No Time to Die, a fantastic Bond. And it's a fantastic Bond film and Daniel Craig's best performance. Breakthrough, haven't seen it. My favorite show of all time, Breaking Bad. Not a single weak link in this one. Truly fantastic. I need to get Better Call Saul because that is also great. Bridesmaids, my favorite Paul Feig movie. The Captain America trilogy on 4K Steelbook, one of my favorite comic book trilogies. My favorite is Winter Soldier. Casablanca, one of the greatest films of all time. Casino, I still need to watch this movie in the way it was meant to be seen, because I've watched this movie backwards. Cats and Dogs 1 and 2. First one is a childhood movie, and I haven't seen the second one in years. A Christmas Story, one of the best Christmas movies. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, one of Spielberg's best. Daredevil Season 1 and Season 2. Daredevil is my favorite comic book show of all time. Dawn of the Dead, the best zombie movie. And this is like the 4K edition with all the different cuts. The Departed, one of the best Scorsese movies. I plan on doing a rewatch of most of his movies before Killers of the Flower Moon. Die Hard, my favorite action movie and my favorite Christmas movie. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. The Disaster Artist. What a story, Mark. District 9, a fantastic alien movie. Django Unchained, one of Tarantino's best. Dread, I Am the Law. This movie is badass. Really hope we get a sequel to it eventually, because I really want to see more. Dune, one of my favorite movies from last year, just phenomenal. Never underestimate Denis. Can't wait for part 2. Dunkirk, not one of my favorite Nolan movies, but this is fantastic. And it looks incredible on 4K. Easy Rider. My dad is going to kill me for this, but I still need to watch this movie. I will make it my year goal to watch this one. Ender's Game, decent adaptation, not great. E.T. Phone Home. This is another childhood movie, another great Spielberg movie, and I love these lenticular covers they do. Everything Everywhere All at Once, probably my favorite movie of the year. The Father, one of Anthony Hopkins' best performance. Wasn't crazy about how that whole situation was handled at the Oscars a couple years back, but he definitely deserved to win. Rule number 1 about Fight Club: never talk about Fight Club. Ford v Ferrari, another James Mangold movie, and another phenomenal movie from him. Game of Thrones, my second favorite TV show of all time. Seasons 1 through 6 are phenomenal. 7 is good but rushed, and 8 is not good. But I don't hate it like a lot of other people. I just think it's a pretty bad season. And House of the Dragon, the steelbook to it. This is one of the best shows of the year. Very glad to see Game of Thrones back to greatness. Ghostbusters, a classic movie, and Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is great. I guess I should probably get rid of this because I have the 4K set. Parts 1 and 2 are some of the greatest movies of all time. They look incredible on 4K. I have not seen the Coppola cut of Godfather 3 yet. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, one of the greatest westerns. Goodfellas, my favorite Scorsese movie, and genuinely might be my favorite movie now. It's that good. The Graduate, watched this one for the first time a couple days ago, and it really struck me that how well shot this movie was. I'm still blown away by that. Grease, one of my favorite musicals. The Great Escape, one of my favorite movies. This movie is so rewatchable for its runtime. Guardians of the Galaxy, one of my favorite MCU movies. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, not as great as the first one, but this is still phenomenal. I can't wait for Volume 3. And The Hateful Eight. Tarantino's most underrated movie, in my opinion. Heat, one of the best, my favorite heist movie. I haven't heard the best things about the 4K to this one. The Hobbit trilogy. I'm not a hater of these movies. I'm not the biggest fan of Battle of the Five Armies. I do really like Desolation of Smog. Inception, one of my favorite Nolan movies. This is so good. Indiana Jones collection. I really love these movies. My favorite is Raiders, but Last Crusade is also great. Inglourious Bastards. Just another one of my favorite Tarantino movies. Interstellar. What a movie this is. Everyone says Nolan can't do emotion, but this movie proves them wrong. The Invisible Man, one of the best horror movies of the decade so far. The Iron Giant, one of my favorite animated movies. Iron Man, the one that started it all, and I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. But this is one of my favorite MCU movies. Iron Man 3, this one is very underrated in my opinion. One of the best horror movies of the past 10 years. It's a Wonderful Life, one of the greatest Christmas movies, and I got the 4K Steelbook to it. Jackie Brown, probably Tarantino's weakest movie other than Death Proof, but still really good. Jaws, my second favorite Spielberg movie, right after Raiders of the Lost Ark. John Wick trilogy, cannot wait for chapter 4. And this is one of my favorite steelbooks. This is phenomenal. Joker, Joaquin Phoenix really deserved the Oscar for this one, and just one of the best performances. Not as good as Ledger's, but still great. Don't ask me why I own this one. Jumanji, one of my favorite Robin Williams movies. Rest in peace to him. The Jurassic Park World Collection, whatever this is called, this franchise should have not had a sequel. I don't know why. It's one of the dumbest ideas. I don't even own Dominion because of how bad Fallen Kingdom. That's how much I don't like the sequels. I forgot the title to my least favorite, but Jurassic Park is one of the greatest movies of all time. Here we go. The Zack Snyder's Justice League collection. I'm still salty they're not continuing it, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is still one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. Really love Man of Steel, and even though it has its issues, I do enjoy Batman v Superman. Justice League War and Gods and Monsters. Haven't seen these in a long time, so I don't really have an opinion. Just Mercy, phenomenal. Michael B. Jordan, probably his best performance. Well, Creed, but still great performance. Kick-Ass, one of my top 5 favorite comic book movies. Just so good. I really hope the rumors about Aaron Taylor Johnson being the next James Bond come true. Kill Bill 1 and 2. These movies are so phenomenal. I probably prefer part 1 over 2, but they work best as one movie. Really hope they release the whole bloody affair as one package eventually, or have it in one movie. I hope they do that eventually. Knives Out, one of the best theater experiences, and one of my favorite movies in a long time. And Glass Onion was also phenomenal. Kung Fu Panda, some of my favorite, I don't own the other two for some reason, but the trilogy are some of my favorite animated movies. LA Confidential, another one of my favorite movies of all time. And La La Land, one of the best musicals in a long time. And I love this steelbook. And I love what Lionsgate does with these slips. The Last Duel, one of my favorite movies of last year. Last Night in Soho, my favorite movie from last year. Quite possibly my favorite Edgar Wright movie. The Lighthouse, my favorite of Robert Edgar's movies. Lincoln, one of Daniel Day-Lewis' best performances. The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane, still haven't seen it. Logan, my second favorite comic book movie. The Lord of the Rings trilogy and their 4K extended editions. Some of the best movies ever made. Probably my favorite trilogy. Mad Max Fury Road, my favorite action movie of the past 10 years. The Matrix, one of my favorite movies. This movie's phenomenal, and the 4K looks great. The Men in Black trilogy, I love 1, I really like 3, don't like 2. And then the new one, I don't like this one at all. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation and Fallout. I love the Mission Impossible movies. Fallout is one of my favorite action movies of all time. Minari. Steven Yeun, I'm glad to see that he is getting more work after The Walking Dead. He is phenomenal. Mulholland Drive, still haven't seen it. I need to get on this very soon. The Naked Gun trilogy, some of my favorite comedies. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, a Christmas classic, and The Nice Guys, my favorite movie of 2016. Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance to date, my favorite movie of the 2010s. Night of the Living Dead, one of the greatest zombie movies of all time. I need to get the Criterion because this Blu Ray looks like crap. Nobody, one of my favorite action movies. Bob Odenkirk is one of the most unexpected action hero. I never expected to see him want to see this, but I did, and it's phenomenal. The Northman, one of my favorite movies of the year. This movie is manly. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, another one of my favorite Tarantino movies. I feel like I am saying that a lot for his filmography, but that's because it is just that good. The Outsiders. Watched this movie in 7th grade, and it's fantastic. I do need to get the 4K to this. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, one of the best, it's not really saying much, but it's one of the best video game movies. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies. The character of Caesar, I get emotional over a CGI ape, so... and then the new Planet of the original Planet of the Apes. I really do like this one. I don't think it holds up in certain aspects, but it is great. Get to the chopper! Predator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. My favorite film of his, probably, other than T2. Really hope they put Prey out on physical media, because that film deserves more than just to be dumped on Hulu. The Prestige, probably my second favorite Nolan movie. Prisoners, Denis Villeneuve, one of his best. These are all a lot of these are backwards for some reason. I don't know why. Paranorman, one of my favorite of Leica's, and Parasite, one of the few movies that actually deserve to win Best Picture. Peacemaker, one of the best shows of the year. John Cena can act surprisingly well. This and The Suicide Squad proved it, and this show is phenomenal. Can't wait for season 2. Pig, Nick Cage, his best performance in my opinion. I think this should have been nominated. Point Break, one of the best heist movies. I am an FBI agent. Prometheus, this movie is fine. And Pulp Fiction 4K Steelbook. One of my favorite, or this is my favorite Tarantino movie. Best screenplay ever written, in my opinion. A Quiet Place, and A Quiet Place 2. Two of my favorite horror movies of recent years. I prefer the second part. Raging Bull, gotta get on this when the Scorsese binge starts. Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's first movie, and it shows why this man is so talented at writing. The Road. Haven't seen this movie in a while, but I remember it being great. Rocky, one of the best movies of all time. Truly, Sylvester Stallone can do no wrong. Unless it's Samaritan. Saving Private Ryan. One of Spielberg's best. That beach sequence is intense. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Zoinks like Scoob! This is one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I grew up on Scooby-Doo. I really enjoy Scooby-Doo. So, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This, I love Edgar Wright. This is probably my least favorite of his, but it is phenomenal still. Scream, my favorite slasher movie. Seven, my favorite David Fincher film. This movie is so disturbing without showing anything. It's a shocker how disturbing they went with that. Seven Samurai, Akira Kurosawa. Need to get more of his movies. This one is great. I'm glad I checked it out a couple years back. The Shape of Water. I need to rewatch this one at some point. I've only seen it once, but I remember really enjoying it. Shang-Chi, one of the best of Phase 4, even though that's not saying much since Phase 4 was kind of a dud. But this is great. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Edgar Wright is just a genius when it comes to comedies and visual storytelling, and Hot Fuzz is likely my favorite comedy. The Shawshank Redemption, a top 5 favorite movie for me. Shazam! Really love this one. Very excited for Fury of the Gods. Snatch, my favorite Guy Ritchie movie. The Social Network, one of the best screenplays by Aaron Sorkin. This is phenomenal. We are almost to the end. We're in the final stretch. 3 more shelves, or 3 more cubes to go. Spaceballs. Raina Schwartz be with you. This movie is hilarious. My dog Clifford does not like Dark Helmet, though. Next up is the Spider-Man movies. I got the Raimi trilogy. Truly phenomenal. These movies stand the test of time, in my opinion. Spider-Man Homecoming, really enjoyed this one. Far From Home, this movie does not hold up on multiple rewatches. There's a bunch of script issues I have. Like, the bus scene is one of the most illogical scenes in an MCU movie. And No Way Home, great movie. I have some issues with it, but I really, the experience of seeing the 3 Spider-Men together is just phenomenal, and they managed to tell it in a great story. So yeah. And Into the Spider-Verse, my favorite Spider-Man movie. Cannot wait for Across the Spider-Verse. Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I could probably get rid of this because I have the Skywalker saga set. This is a great set to have all of them in 4K. And I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy anymore because of Rise of Skywalker. Solo, okay. Rogue One has really grown on me. Rewatching it before Andor, which is great. I really enjoyed this one. And then I got the despecialized editions. My preferred way of watching Star Wars. Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I enjoyed Isolation. And Rise of Skywalker killed the trilogy for me, so whoopsie. The Suicide Squad, James Gunn just does such a great job with these types of movies. Very curious to see what his new DC universe is going to be. Superman, one of the greatest comic book movies ever. I did see that 2 is getting released on 4K next year. Can't wait to buy it. And I also have this DC Shorts collection. We have made it to the second to last cube. I will look for you, I will find you, and I will kill you. One of my favorite action movies, taken. Unfortunately, Liam Neeson's career kind of turned into doing rip-offs, but oh well. I am out of breath. Taxi Driver, my second favorite of Scorsese's. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not a fan of these two movies. Yeah. Tenet, not one of my favorite of Nolan's, but I respect the hell out of it. Terminator 1 through 4, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day Steelbook. I really, and I love the first two. I don't care for 3. Salvation, I enjoy. I'm not crazy about the other 2. I don't own them. Probably never will. The Thing, one of my favorite, probably my favorite horror movie, my favorite John Carpenter movie. I love this movie. Thor Ragnarok. I love this movie. I don't own Love and Thunder because unfortunately that movie really let me down. Top Gun, not the biggest fan of this movie, but I still think it's entertaining. Top Gun, Top Gun Maverick. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. One of the best theater experiences I've had. Toy Story 1 through 3. 3 of my favorite animated movies. And I'm not the biggest fan of Toy Story 4. I don't like the way it ended. True Detective Season 1. One of the best seasons of TV ever. Uncut Gems. Really hope Adam Sandler continues doing these types of movies because this was Oscar level of performance. And then this DC 3-pack consisting of V for Vendetta, Watchmen, and Constantine. And we have made it to the final pile of the day. So we got Walk the Line, my favorite Joaquin Phoenix movie. Walking Dead Season 5, a very weird season to own, but I do really like this season. Season 1 is my favorite of the show. I need to get... It's very hard because, like, I've fallen off the show and then gotten back into it so many times, so that's why I don't own the rest of the show. Warrior, one of my favorite movies. My favorite movie, my second favorite movie of the 2010s. I almost contradicted myself there. Watchmen, one of my favorite comic book movies. Really wish the director's cut was the one on the 4K, but what can you do? Watchmen, fantastic HBO miniseries here. West Side Story, my favorite musical. The Wolverine, I really enjoy this movie up until the third act. Wonder Woman, one of my favorite DCEU films. Wonder Woman 84, one of my least favorite DCEU films. X and Pearl. Didn't know that 2 films in a franchise coming out in 1 year would be 2 of my favorite movies of the year. The X-Men trilogy. X-Men's a great start. X2, one of the best comic book movies, and X-Men 3, a very interesting blunder in the genre. And then the 4K to the First Class trilogy. Love Days of Future Past and First Class. Apocalypse is pretty mediocre. Last but not least, Zoolander. One of my favorite of Ben Stiller's movies. Oh, we've made it to the end. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching this yearly tradition. This is the longest version of that video, but it is worth it just for you guys. So thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. Stay tuned for my Last of Us streams. And I'll see you guys next time.